Hi, my name is Shaa Ackerson, and I'm going to talk about marriage and divorce. Young girls tend to start thinking about their marriage quite young. Maybe about 5 to 7 years old is when we start thinking about our little husbands. Or we'll start playing house, and one will play mommy and one will play daddy. We always think about what they're going to look like, what they're going to talk, how they're going to walk, what kind of swag they have. We just start thinking about our husbands early on. Now with boys, on the other hand, they're totally opposite from us. They start thinking around that age of what kind of mud they're going to play in, or what kind of sports they're going to play, or who has the biggest muscles, who can wink their eye a little bit better than the other one. But when they get to the age about 11, 12, 13 is when they probably start catching on. That's when they start realizing about the other sex, and they're not too embarrassed to talk about it. But when they're about, a lot of times when you turn about 18 or younger, people could be a little bit impatient. I don't know what the reason could be, but maybe they have to get married early, or they just need to. They just feel like, like I said, impatient, which can cause a lot of problems. Usually when somebody gets married under the age of 18, 59% of those people won't even last for 15 years. They'll end up getting a divorce, which can cause a lot of problems, especially if they have children involved. If they have children involved and they see that their parents go through a horrible custody battle or horrible divorce, more likely when they're older and they get married, they're going to end up doing the same. Especially if they marry their spouse, which has also came from a divorced family as a child. Then it's really probably not going to work. They'll probably get married more than 2 times in their life. Marriage is very, very a special thing. A lot of people will get married because they feel like they have to do it under God's eyes, or there's a lot of different reasons why people get married. Maybe because they end up getting pregnant and they don't believe in telling their families that they done had a child out of wedlock. Anything could be the reason. A lot of things can cause a divorce. Marriage isn't the same as it used to be about 20 years ago. We'll walk around down the street and I'll see like 2 couples or a couple that are about 80 years old holding hands and kissing and acting like they're so in love. That's because back then they used to fight a little bit harder. There really was no talk about divorce. Divorce was out the window. A lot of things that people used to do to keep a marriage strong is, compliment each other. Tell each other that they love each other more than probably 5 times a day. Anytime your spouse walks out the room, you should tell them that you love them. You never know what can happen. And we always need to hear that I love you. It's a comfort zone. Ways to keep your spouse happy is also listening. Listening is a huge part. If you and your spouse have a dispute, or you guys don't agree with each other, it's always good to let that other person talk and to listen. Even if it's burning you up on the inside and you feel like you have to say something, you need to let your spouse speak. That is the only way that they can get out, because if you don't let them speak and let them talk about it, then it could add up and build up and build up and build up, and then one day they might just explode. Another thing is, besides listening, is talking with a gentle voice. Instead of yelling and screaming and going crazy and in front of your kids or anyone else, just kind of lower it down. Talk like you guys have sense. Make sure that you talk instead of yell, because it can frustrate each other and cause too many other problems. And you never want your children to see you fight. You don't even want the outside world to see that you fight. When you guys have an argument, nobody needs to know about it besides you two. A lot of people get divorces because of cheating or financial disputes. If you don't have your foundation right before you're married, you know, some people will live strong through that, but some people won't. So it's always good to have your foundation right before you bring your spouse into that home. Other ways that people may also get a divorce is because they have high expectations of each other. There could be probably abuse in that relationship. Lack of commitment, too much arguing. There's so many reasons why people give up so easily nowadays and just call it the quits. So, you always got to talk to your spouse. You always got to let them know how much you love them. Especially when you go through a divorce, the children custody could be a really bad thing. You know, people could fight and tear a child up so quickly. You know, it's important to love your spouse unconditionally. A lot of people like to get married because of the cool things that come involved, how decorating and all that other stuff. Here's a couple things that I had in my wedding. When my husband and I got married, we were able to light the candles. My parents lit one, and my husband's parents lit the other one. And that was them basically letting us go and giving us to each other. And then after they lit those candles, we ended up lighting this one together. And it says, "This day I shall marry my friend, the one that I laugh with, I live for, and love." I thought that was really cool. And this was on top of my cake. It used to light up. It was real pretty. It was just real light. And then now, this is what we got. Big old family. That's my husband and all my babies. So, basically, marriage is very important, especially if you're raising children. If you also, you know, if you go through an ugly divorce, it can cause a lot of health problems, a lot of heartaches. It can mess with somebody's health if you don't have a healthy relationship. It could do a lot of damaging to you. So be strong with your spouse, love them forever, and marry on.